What has gradually disappeared over the last 10 years without people really noticing? The convenience and accessibility promised by the internet of the 2000s and 2010s that is gradually taken away from us. I bought a season of a show on Amazon a few years back, and they seem to have somehow lost the rights to the original, so now I can only access the dubbed version, which I don't like. The show now is only available on a streaming service that doesn't exist in my country, so I got a VPN. Only to find out that I can't pay for the streaming service without a credit card, so now I just ordered the box set again, like I would have done 15 years ago. It's not just the streamers. I remember when website loading times were the topic when talking about browsers, but now every website you open requires for you to take 2 minutes to close 5 legal questions and pop up, do you want to register horses, with the expat quote hidden in different spots every time. There are ads everywhere, and even if you buy the premium version of things, there are still more ads within the content, all for S you'd never buy. Places like YouTube remove functioning like and dislike features, so that you can't tell what videos you can simply skip. Google also seems to be less efficient than it was 8 years ago, and finding anything online has become a chore. All new security measures they introduce just steal your time and life energy. You want to log into Netflix on your PC, but you can't, because it needs to be registered as a temporary device. They send you a email, but to open the email, they first need you to enter a code they send to your phone, which is in the other room. So you go get it, and once you've entered the code and opened Netflix, you forgot what the F you even wanted to watch in the first place. Don't get me started on all the F updates everything seemingly needs to do every other week. The good old $800 beta car that would actually run and drive. Good luck finding anything nowadays that will run and drive for less than $3,000, and cars that ordinary people could repair. That's why I'm never going to get rid of my early 90s Ranger. No account, no power steering, manual transmission, manual windows and locks, very little to break. I'm 100% on board for manual transmission, locks, and windows. Driving without power steering sucks if you're doing it every day. Online spaces for kids. When I was a child, we had several online places made for children. Every single children's TV channel had a website with games for kids. There were several online games geared towards children, like Club Penguin, etc. Now if you're a 10-year-old, you either rot your brain with shitty YouTube videos, or you rot your brain with social media. The death of Adobe Flash did a significant amount of that damage. I remember Pop Tropica was basically in a coma 4 years afterwards, while they scrambled to convert it to HTML5. Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network just never bothered switching most of their content, so those websites are pretty much dead. Neopets was my jam. Neopets is still active. You can even transfer your account from the Adobe format to the new one. I still get promotional emails from them, even though I haven't transferred my account, lol. I live in Japan. Most of the stuff mentioned here is still alive and well in Japan. That's because Japan has been stuck in the year 2000 since the 80s. Every time I go, even the first time, it feels nostalgic. Definitely a vibe reminiscent of pre-9/11 America. For one thing, the news cycle isn't dark and doomer. You can still rent physical media, and there's still major CD/DVD chains like HMV and Tower Records. Arcades are everywhere. You just made me want to go to Japan for the first time ever. Quality clothing and furniture. Everything is plywood and polyester, even at the better stores. Edit, I meant MDF and other particular boards. I live in an area where people will put things that are still usable on the curb, and have been rescuing solid wood furniture when I can. 4 years now. I got an antique china cabinet, a small drop leaf table, dining room chairs, curio shelves, and a plant stand that way. Oak, maple, cherry, mahogany, pine. I don't think people know what they have, or are just more interested in modern looking things. Their loss, with a little cleaning, a bit of wood glue, sometimes a refinishing, I end up with beautiful pieces that will probably outlive me, and I also get to learn new skills. I rescued an oak chair last week that needs a little love. and I might finally undertake learning some basic reupholstery skills. The seat has a leather pad, but the leather is brown, and it would look better with black. I also rescue wood that I can reuse to build new things. Wobbly ass bookshelf. Take it apart and build shelves that fit my space. Leaves from a dining room table. Take it home, clean it up, and reuse it. As long as it's solid wood, not particle board, chipboard, or any other kind of shitty press board. I'll make it useful again. If the leather is in decent condition, you could dye it black with leather dye. I dyed a pair of leather boots once. They came out well. Coins on the sidewalk. There used to be this rocky part of a park that I could always find quarters in. Each time we visited, I would spend a lot of time rummaging through those rocks just to find a couple bucks worth of quarters. I made up stories in my head about how a truck full of quarters must have crashed there years ago and they just never picked them all up. As I got older I lost interest, but that place was always magical to me. Turns out my dad was dropping quarters in there when I wasn't looking because he knew it made me happy / kept me busy. I do the same thing for my chickens, but with corn. Dad raised you like livestock. Smart man. They were both like, buck buck buck. This is why I read it. Reasonable fast food prices. Small independent hardware stores. They used to be a small town staple, especially in the Midwest. Almost everyone used to be the oldest business in town, having been open since like 1895. Now, they're all mostly gone, and your only alternative is a big box hardware store or ordering on Amazon. It's incredibly depressing. A lot are Ace Hardwares though, which isn't as good as individually owned, but much better than a standard chain or big box stores as they are run a lot more like independent stores. Ace Hardware /r// individually owned though. They operate as a sort of independent owner co-op type thing, so that they can buy things in volume like Costco, in the same sense that your local restaurant probably buys a bunch of supplies from Costco and share marketing. The 1960s local hardware store might buy an ad in the newspaper to advertise a sale on gardening equipment. An Ace affiliate store contributes the same amount of money to the coop, who buys a nationwide TV ad on it across all the stores. Ace Hardware's co-op has actually been acquiring stores. They currently own several hundred, so most Aces are locally owned but some aren't. My local Ace is part of a chain, Great Lakes Ace, that was partially owned by Ace for years, until they recently bought the entire thing. A real live person answering a business telephone. And if you don't believe me, press 5 to repeat this message. Alternatively, a customer service call that doesn't take 5 minutes to tell you how you can reach them on their website instead. Motherfucker, I'm a millennial. Do you think I would be calling if I had any other choice? Are you sure that you want to speak with an agent? I can probably assist you with whatever you need, says the AI voice that is trying to put my unusual request into one of 5 standardized buckets. Really owning anything but more paying to borrow. Yeah. I don't want to subscribe. I want to own. Can't even buy a car anymore without them being about to remotely turn off your account because your subscription payment was late. Toys in cereal boxes. 24-hour businesses. COVID killed them, and it seems a lot of them aren't coming back. My local Planet Fitness closes at 7 PM on the weekends. 7. God, I miss the 2 AM runs. Small phones. Remember the pre-smartphone era, when manufacturers raced to make phones smaller and smaller? Then the iPhone was launched and everyone thought it was too big at the time, but now even that looks tiny. Now even cheap smartphones are huge, like mini tablets, and barely fit into pockets. Reminds me of the Futurum a bit in the early 2000s or 3000s. What happened? Did you swallow your phone again? I absolutely love jokes about futuristic / luxury phones being tiny, only because there was such a short window where that joke worked. So it's like a little comedic time capsule. Zoolander has a tiny phone in the first movie as a status symbol. The same phone in the second movie gets called retro and a guy takes a picture of the little phone with his huge phone the size of an Etch-a-Sketch. Fireflies. Pile your leaves up, leave them. Fireflies lay their eggs in leaf litter, and when we bag up leaves and trash, then we are trashing future fireflies. I don't pick up leaf litter on my property and I have a decent amount of fireflies every summer. Edit. While I'm here, popping in to say everyone should look up plants native to their area and spread those around as much as possible. Your specific area will have a certain biodiversity dedicated to its eco-region, and there's more than likely a non-profit close to you that will provide information on naturalizing your yard. My backyard is surrounded by woods on 2 sides, and there is a season every year, June, early July-ish, when they're hatching, and my backyard is absolutely swarmed with fireflies. Like, it almost looks like a fireworks show, there are so many. One of my favorite times of the year. Ownership. You pay a subscription. You can't fix what you own because it's proprietary. You can't buy outright. Our ownership of things has become a rental service, where they can break or completely remove what we purchased without consent at any time because it was in the terms of service. I hate how everything is turning into a billboard now. Oh, you've owned your TV for 2 years now? Well, we just ran an update to show you commercials during the screensaver mode. Want no ads? Well, you need to pay more for that. Loud AF video ads on gas pumps. Ads on apps that you've used for many years that didn't have them before, but now all of a sudden they need them for revenue. More and more ads before movies. I keep setting my Alexa Echo show to not show ads. I literally wanted the show vs another dot because I wanted the clock that displays. Now most of the time when I look at it, it's not the clock, it's ads. Every time I fix the settings they must send an update or something because then ads start up again. Leave me the F alone in my own home. Definitely getting rid of the Echo show. But that's utter BS. I wanted to finally get myself a Kindle last year. Now those have ads. You have to pay extra to not have ads on the effine device you buy and own to read a effine book. I feel almost paranoid anymore. Like I have a stalker and I just don't know where they'll spring up next and their intentions are not good. I'm getting really effine sick of it. I'm already stressed out enough as it is, but now I just feel surrounded and harassed by so many ads trying to get me to part with what little money I do have. Honestly, I think the constant ads is lowering at least my quality of life. I feel more and more like the regular working class is being treated like a herd of cattle and not real people. Edited to ad. How could I forget to mention websites with ads? Just about every single website is so packed with ads that they render the site almost unusable. Ads popping up while reading the news. Websites needing to reload repeatedly because of some glitching ad error. Ads taking up so much screen space that you can only read a few lines of whatever you are reading at a time. X buttons to close the ad windows so tiny that you risk hitting the ad itself and then you get redirected to a new site. I swear there also must be a way that some apps and sites dial up the ad sensitivity to touch to 1000%. You just brush that ad with your finger while you scroll and boom, it opens up. It really makes being online such an obnoxious experience anymore. Or using apps a chore. I've been getting more and more avoidant of being online, which I guess isn't a bad thing overall, but still, the internet used to be a pretty fun place to be. And then there's the ads that are sponsored content on Google results, Amazon results, etc. Amazon is obnoxious because those sponsored products just keep showing up on repeat as you scroll through products. It's like they pop up after 5 actual search results over and over and over. And in FB Marketplace, ads that lead to other websites are getting harder to detect from actual things individual people are selling. Reddit has gotten bad about making ads look like they are actual posts or comments. Anyone else notice the recent ish edition of ads disguised as comments that are just mixed into comments rather than just the first comment? That is sneaky AF. I'm going along reading comments, tapping the top of the comments to shrink them when I'm done reading it, and then I accidentally will hit the top of an ad comment, and instead of shrinking like actually comments do, it takes you to a different web page. I know this was 100% their intent. 2. To trick a person closing up comments as they read into hitting the ad. It's so sneaky and just gross. I guess ads must still work on a lot of people or they wouldn't be pushing out so many enumerejo are these people who are driving more ads by responding to them by buying products so much so that ads just continue to litter every aspect of the world around us anymore. Or maybe the problem is that ads are not working as well as they used to drive up sales, and that's why they're finding new ways to force us to view these ads. Okay, sorry, I just need to let it all out, lol. Anyways, this post is sponsored by, in the least sarcastic sense possible, critical thinking and self-reflection. It's really a struggle to engage with people these days who aren't capable of putting their bias and personal beliefs aside to think big picture or critically about any issue. People just jump straight to personal insults, fallacies, and needing to feed their ego. It's so hard to be a teacher right now. They literally wait for the answer. In an open book test the other day, I had a complaint that there wasn't a page number. There were only about 6 it could have been on. Didn't want to look. Wow. I graduated in 2010, and having an open book test was pretty much unheard of. Can't imagine not being able to skim 6 pages. For me, if it was an open book test, that means it's going to be really hard. My hair. We noticed. We were just being polite. I was mad that my friends and family were polite with it. I wish I had started shaving my head years earlier. At least my barber was straight with me, even though it meant losing a customer. This is what happened to me. Then I went for a haircut. Gay barber just runs his fingers through my hair and lets out. Wow. What a shame. Skype. It's amazing really that the provider of video calls disappeared during Corona. Literally didn't know of Zoom until COVID hit. It honestly feels like Zoom had some sort of deal with companies/schools. IDK why it caught on so quickly, even though there were other alternatives. Zoom was free and did not require an account to create or join a meeting. With Skype, Adobe Connect, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet or Discord, you would have to create an account and or purchase a license to create and sometimes even join meetings. Zoom also spent $500 million on marketing to businesses and schools in 2020. Privacy. It's been a lot longer than 10 years since we've had an expectation of privacy. Snowden exposed the NSA in 2013 and the agency had been doing it 4 years before. I mean, Congress pretty much rubber stamped it all after 9/11. Sold out our privacy for our protection. There was a time when the Patriot Act was controversial. Cute huh? The general decline of public services. It's become normalized for public health, schools, council-run services to all be worse. Teachers, nurses, fire services all at breaking point and more cuts announced. All because we can't afford it. Someone's making money and it certainly isn't the working class. People answering phone calls. I quit answering as my spam calls now average 4 per hour. If there's no name on my screen when my phone rings, I pick up and say nothing. If I hear dead air, I wait. If it's a scam call, it'll hang up. If it's an actual person, there will be a tentative hello, and then I'll respond. I don't bother blocking them though, because I know they are just being spoofed, and I could end up blocking some poor unsuspecting Joe Schmo. And in a crazy twist of universe, I may end up being friends with them in future. They're always calls from my own area code after all. Can't let a spoofing spam caller ruin a potential future friendship. The problem with answering is that now there are people calling asking me if I want to sell my house. If I wanted to sell my house, it would be on the F market. Stop calling me, assholes. Home phones.